missing you, now I'm faded. Holding you, kissing you, calling you baby. Cold by the shake, I'm trying to drink you. Feel like I'm drunk, might need a chaser. She got me nervous, I'm trying to be player. Let's leave the ball, go home and lay up. Rubbing your body, massaging your layers. Sip and get tipsy, we play a little later. I don't use a drink, but loving your flavor. Me and you make a good combination. When I hit it, look like you took a sip of the whisk. How you making them faces? Use that weight, but I'm getting impatient.
Influencers are panicking after going from the internet's favorites to the internet most hated. And they're at a risk currently of losing everything they've ever worked for in the last decade after getting in the crosshair of Keith Lee today. There's this older black dude on social media who's been going viral for his food content. His content is pretty much him just pulling, the bone out the ribs and showing how tender the ribs actually are. Hence his nickname, Mr. Tenderism. Well, they actually have an actual restaurant called the Smokehouse Destinations. And Keith Lee came to the Smokehouse Destination to do a food review. The review started off as a pretty normal Keith Lee review, but by the end of the video, Destination Smokehouse was public enemy number one. We'll get back to the video shortly, but I wanted to let you guys know this video is being sponsored by Kalshi. Kalshi is an app where you can make money predicting current events. I put money on what the weather is gonna be every day on Kalshi. I check the weather app when I wake up. And really all I do is I look at what the highest temperature is gonna be for the day. Then I go on Kalshi and place a prediction on what I think the highest temperature is going to be for the day. I'll say probably 7 out of 10 times my weather prediction hits. Sometimes it doesn't hit. But if you want to get paid by predicting weather on a daily basis, you can do so on Kalshi by clicking the link in my description and downloading the app and using code FLACO to get $10 on your first deposit.
Me and my family are currently in Marietta, California. And this, in my opinion, is the most anticipated video I've ever done. In my hand is food from Destination Smokehouse, with the tenderism. My whole mission today to see, in my opinion, is the food actually tenderism, or do I just love watching Unc? Let's find out together. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. We spent $129.77. The customer service, my family said, was very good. This food was quick. It only took us 10 minutes to get it. And Unc is here, but Unc walking around with 4 different security guards, which I fully understand because people probably bombarding him nonstop. So I'm gonna show you the thing I got, and we're gonna try it and rate it 1 through 10. Holiday yams, mac and cheese, coleslaw, 2 orders of Texas toast, 4 sides of barbecue sauce, and a 3-meat plate. I got a beef rib, some oxtail, and some brisket. We gonna start with what I came here for, the beef rib. I didn't touch it, I didn't do nothing. This how it came.
He goes through the food review. He gives them, a pretty great score. The food tastes amazing. But it's the end of the video that's getting a lot of controversy. So at the end of the video, Keith Lee had about $4,000 he wanted to donate to Mr. Tenderism, right? This is an older black dude, who's been making content online. He's everybody's favorite grandpa online. Keith Lee wanted to give him some money. However, when Keith Lee went to give him some money, something takes place at the restaurant that makes Keith Lee leaves without actually getting the meat or give the $4,000 tip to Mr. Tenderism.
Sweet, cinnamon, a lot of spices and flavors, 8 out of 10. For me, the standout was absolutely the oxtail. But past the oxtail, the standout is Unc. Not only, in my opinion, is it extremely hard to get people engaged like that, to show your true personality, to be yourself, no matter how fast things take off in the space. I don't think he intended for it to go the way it's going. I think he just wants to show his love of food and his love of what it is that he's doing. I'm personally taking $5,000 out of my own bank, and we going to say happy holidays to Unc. So, update. We could not get to Unc. Security said it was over with for the day. They said that he was filming something. I believe he was filming a podcast. We had $5,000 in cash, or $4,000 in cash that we was gonna give him a hand. They didn't take it, so we're not only gonna take this money and feed some people, but we just gonna do what we feel like we're supposed to do in the community. And as always, after this, I pray and hope that they continue to reach their target audience. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
The ending of this Keith Lee review sparked several uncomfortable conversations and think pieces. The first think piece was, oh, they too good to meet Keith Lee. Oh, wow, they selfish. They not as nice and wholesome and family-oriented as they are in these videos, which from my perspective, bruh, dude's filming a podcast. Keith Lee could have waited, or he could have, you feel me? Like, if he really wanted to, he could have waited until the podcast was over. I don't know. But the second thing is, this Keith Lee video kind of exposed something that a lot of people probably already knew, but the masses thought that this, but it's exploitation because he's online working for the business and promoting it. I don't feel like this is exploitation at all. I feel like, if he proves his worth, then you come to the table and you ask for equity where it is. But to say, because he's not the owner, 100%, the owner 100%, it's not his business 100%, that they are exploiting him is crazy. Where was y'all at when he needed a job? If he could have found a better job than this, he would have had a better job than this before the internet. But the fact that he didn't, These were the people who took care of him before y'all knew who he was. But now y'all found out who he was. Now y'all want to give y'all 3 cents and have him turn on the people who had his back before anyone of you guys knew who he was. Y'all are out of your minds. Y'all are literally insane.
And now we're still fighting for reparations in 2025, while every other nationality that has ever been wronged in this country has pretty much received some type of reparation. If this man does not get his own business, I will know that this is set up by design, because I'm not trying to be rude. Other than owning the business permit and being a renter of that building, what does the owner do? I didn't even know there was a different nationality in that building as far as ownership or who could be working on something. So part about giving Black people equity back is allowing them to have money and investments in things. And if all that man has is a job, I'm not okay with this at all.
They did an interview with Willie D so they could speak on everything, including whether or not he's an employee or an owner, as well as the Keith Lee situation. And I'll be real, bro. Hearing these people kind of speak on this really made me feel bad for them, bro. Because at the end of the day, man, they just running a business, okay? And if Keith Lee showed up unexpected, if Keith Lee showed up when they wasn't really expecting him, is it like their obligation to treat Keith Lee better than they would treat anybody else and stop the podcast they've been had scheduled, I would assume, for a while now, and then leave the podcast to go cater to Keith Lee? No, because they wouldn't do it for anybody else, right? But because of that, they're now getting more hate than I think they've ever expected in life.
So really solid. We were like 3 weeks out from planning it, and a lot of hiccups happened. We were so late in the day, but when we were doing it, we were just totally locked in. So I found out at the end of it was only 30 minutes too. It was a 30-minute podcast. Mm-hmm. So at the end, our head of security / host, Josh, came over. He was like, "Hey, Nick, man, it's like some guy came and he was trying to meet Walt to give him a $5,000 tip." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird," because we've had like streamers come in, trying to like come in and get weird content. So we love the exposure, but we don't need weird exposure. So he took it and he didn't know. That was another shocking thing. Me, my friend Walter French, who's off camera, and then one lady who was working that day are the only 3 people in the restaurant who knew who he was. And I was in shock. I didn't even know it was Keith Lee until like 15 minutes after I heard about the tip. So as soon as I got the idea, I started messaging him, and I went out into the parking lot trying to find him. I was hoping he was going to be at our restaurant when we were in Hemet in our original location. I know who he is. I'm a food guy, and I'm on the internet all the time. I do all our social media, so I'm well aware. And it would have been a great boost to us in Hemet, I figured he just never came because the level that we're at now, he likes to help out businesses that need more exposure, So, but I would have been, if I would have known he was here, I would have probably asked Edie to stop for a few seconds so we could go over there. That's what I would have done.
This dude don't really strike me as as a colonizer, if that makes sense, right? Like you could smell the colonizer blood and the spirit in somebody, but this ain't no colonizer, bro. Like this is not a dude that I would say is like a mean-spirited human being. Right? Now he a little clout thirsty, right? He a little clout demon, but like he's not a mean-spirited individual from my perspective. But yeah, I don't believe that they should have treated Keith Lee any differently. But if y'all had a podcast going on, stopping the podcast with any means to go ahead and talk to Keith Lee when you already had him there, no, that's disrespectful. Finish up your podcast and then go talk to Keith Lee if Keith Lee is still there. But apparently Keith Lee being unwilling to really respond back or link back up with them or have any type of conversations kind of shows that Keith Lee is salty that they couldn't link up with him, and he's still kind of mad at him, which I don't know why, right? If they were filming a podcast, they were filming a podcast. Why are you upset at these people for filming a podcast, right? So they addressed the fact that, now after they got done with Keith Lee, they addressed the old man is being taken advantage of narrative, and here's what they had to say. The first person who actually brought it up was actually the old man before anybody asked about it.
And then we talk about this here, because just misunderstand, it's 2026. We gonna clear everything. Now, in back, I want to let y'all know something. I live too long, somebody taking advantage of me. That part of taking advantage of me, there's a lot of things people can do in life. That's not something we do here at Destination. This is one in the nation.
Yes, sir.
I remember just like these the same 2 people on this podcast right now is the same 2 people know something about Destination. But see, the media just get off and run with the negative stuff. And I tell him all the time, don't be feeding into that negativity, because they ain't not just somebody trying to push, divide and conquer.
People want to know, like, Walt, you're doing so much to help this brand, do Walter have, ownership or equity in a Destination Smokehouse? Is that something that you can share?
Everybody's business ain't nobody's business. But this is how I put it. I'm telling you that. It's because it's my business. If whatever, it's Nick's business. That sharing your business, all of this here, we just have destination one in the nation. We on one kick. I can't get on sharing personal, how much money or this and that. I'm letting, okay, we cut this through the chase. He's not taking advantage of me. We're going to be here until the end.
And as far as ownership goes, as much as I'll say, because I'm going to respect Walt's privacy, Walt is definitely a part of this business. He is not an employee. I would be safe to say that the finances that we have both been able to increase into our bank account since we've been here has been something great for both of us. But talking numbers, talking any of that, I just don't think that's professional. I mean, we're not professional athletes where our agents are putting our contracts out there.
From what I gather from that, it looks like, right, they gave the old man some equity in the company. The old man don't look like no dummy either. But what I would say, man, hey, my only advice to the old man, when you start talking to bosses, because I'm sure they probably own more equity than him, so they are still his boss. When you start talking to your bosses like, oh, we in this together until the end, oh, this is forever, this is never ending, that's usually when the exploitation starts. You don't want to have that language, bro, right? Especially with a boss, right? Especially in the workplace, right? Understand this, it's never personal. The minute these folks begin to understand that they could save a little more money or make a little more money with you not being in the picture, you'll be out the picture. So understand, I want you to understand that. But for the most part, Dave has been good to you. Dave employed you. You've done well. Now you own equity, right? Like, have loyalty and have principles and integrity, but don't start talking about, oh, this is until the end. It's almost never until the end. It almost always have an expiration date when doing business, okay? But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, bro? I don't like how these people are treating these people, bro. Just because they didn't stop everything they're doing to cater to Keith Lee, I don't like that, bro. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think, man? And if you're still watching this video and want to watch another good video, then click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here on my screen to find out about why this influencer is threatening academics after he exposed her very nasty secret. Click on this video right here to find out what academics exposed that he's being threatened for. And if you want to watch another dope video, or if you enjoy this video, you can like and subscribe. But to really show support, man, please send me a hype to push this video.
What's good? It's your boy, Drip Point of View, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. We're trying to get monetized. Let's go. Fuck.